Well, good evening and thanks for staying with us on Adult Television. This evening, I'm standing on my feet to introduce you to your favorite television political analysis program. Here we bridge the gap between the lawmakers. This is PM Gun, and my name, of course, is Reginald Addy. Today, March 8th, we are celebrating women across the entire globe. And so, if you're a woman, or if you are a potential woman, then do stay with us this evening because we are celebrating our dear women across the globe. We are celebrating the very gender that molds our entire being, the very gender that God created to supplement and also to augment the previous gender that God created. So God created man and he realized that there is something amiss. So after a couple of hours, God watched you and he said, I've seen that one thing that would complete my creation. Woman. If you're a woman this evening, give yourself a round of applause. Yes, I can see you. You can see me, but I'm trusting that you're clapping for yourself. Let us say kudos to all the women who have been exceptional, especially in the African continent. And when we come to Ghana, we have the Alice Enums, aka Baby Jet. Let me begin from Iya Santua of Ejiso. Yes, Queen Mother of Ejiso, Iya Santua, who took arms, led men to fight for what is a heritage of the people of the Ashanti Kingdom when our colonial rulers demanded the golden stool, an encompassment and the spirit of the Ashanti people. By then, the king of Ejisu had been exiled. The Ashanti king then had been exiled, and it took a female to say that, hey, we will not take this, excuse my language, nonsense. It took a woman to lead men. And yes, although they did not win that war, they made a statement. Yes, and Iya Santua left a footprint in that battle and in that ruling. We have the Ama Ata Edus who have transitioned writing and poetry and put everything about women into some form of documentation, an epitome of the fact that when you educate a man, you educate an individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate an entire nation. Need I say more? Need I speak even further about our dear women? Well, when you look at the issue of single parenting, you realize how much women seem to dominate that space. Yes, we have some men who are, find themselves as single parents, but we know, you and I agree, that women suffer that the most. But they do not give up. They sweat, they toil. And the saddest part is that in all of this, we do not seem to recognize them so much. And so in an African country like Ghana, where from time immemorial we've been speaking and debating about what we call an affirmative action bill that is supposed to see to about at least 40% women in parliament, what do we have today? Well, you would argue that nobody's hindering them from, putting themselves out there, like my very guest tonight, who is putting herself out there, hoping and willing to serve Ghana on that pedestal. On this note, let me say big kudos to Her Excellency Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, former president, who fought for democracy and the proper rule of justice and the rule of law in her country. This is a woman who says it's not possible. In our part of the country, well, we tend to want to believe that women, their role is in the kitchen. And when men speak, women don't speak. Who told you? Who told you? Haven't you seen that women are taking leadership roles in this country? Well, we've had a Speaker of Parliament who was a woman. That is one arm of government. We've had a Chief Justice. We have Chief Justices who are women. This is another arm of government, the legislature. Now we are looking for the woman who would lead the executive. Maybe my guest for tonight would be that woman. Ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned. When we come back, we'll be having a conversation with a very good friend. She's a woman, she's into politics, and she's the general secretary of one of the leading political parties in the country. And I bet that by now you have a clue. She's not a running mate. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Mr. Speaker, today marks International Women's Day, a significant day in the calendar of the world, and the theme for the celebration of the day, Gender Equality for a Sustainable Tomorrow, could not have been more perfect. Yet, Mr. Speaker, this year's International Women's Day comes at a time that the sustainability of our world faces serious risk. In a male-dominated world of the 21st century, The health of humanity continues to be threatened by the deadly COVID-19 virus. The global economy by the shockwaves of the pandemic, and the global peace by the actions of strong men and strong states, as evidenced by recent invasion of Ukraine by Putin's Russia. Will the world have been in a better position to confront or possibly avert the aforementioned challenges through rigorous pursuit of gender equality? This critical question is worth occupying the minds of the world leaders, including us, in this chamber as we celebrate this day. For most parts of humanity's history, women, who constitute close to half of the world's population, were sidelined. Their place in society was restricted to areas which limited their capabilities to contribute meaningfully to the advancement of civilization. Before I conclude, Mr. Speaker, let me also state that the current composition of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic and the difficulties that have confronted same underscore the need for female MPs to show leadership towards consensus building. May I therefore use this opportunity as we celebrate International Women's Day to urge all female MPs on both sides of the House to show the way in collaborating towards consensus building. We, as females, have an obligation to project to Ghanaians and the world that we can be different, that we can work together with love, empathy, and care to ensure adversarial politics from Parliament and contribute meaningfully towards development of our dear nation. Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given to me.
I particularly celebrate the mothers of all the men who are in this Parliament for doing such a fantastic job of providing care, love, and support for you to become who you are today. I also celebrate your wives, your sisters, and your daughters for standing by you and ensuring that you have achieved your dreams. Mr. Speaker, I take the opportunity also to ask the men in this room and the ones outside, if you are going to join forces with us as women so that our numbers will increase in this Parliament come the 9th Parliament a few years from now. You can do that, Mr. Speaker, by breaking the bias, which is the theme for this year. If you break the barrier and break the bias, you will support a woman regardless. After all, we on our part as women have supported our male children and husbands and fathers to achieve their destiny.
Mr. Speaker, since today is being celebrated as such, let me salute all women, our women, for working so hard for the families, the communities, the countries, and the world as a whole. Mr. Speaker, every year the world recognizes the socio-economic, cultural, and political achievement of women, and also bring to the attention important issues affecting women, such as discrimination that exists today. Looking at the theme for this year's celebration, gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow, brings to the mind the contribution of women and girls around the globe who participate in their communities promoting on climate change adaptation, mitigation, and response in order to build a more sustainable future for all women. Mr. Speaker, gender inequality is not only a pressing moral or social issue, but also a critical economic challenge. If women, who account for about half of the world's population, are not given the chance to achieve their full economic potential, the global economy will suffer. Mr. Speaker, when the Mr. Speaker, women are very important in all spheres of life, and it is by this reason that Dr. Reginald Addy said, if you educate women, you educate a man, you educate an individual, but when you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
Well, so those are dear members of parliament, the female members of parliament, speaking on International Women's Day. A statement was made by Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon, Honorable Lydia Seyram Al Hassan, then supported by Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Honorable Jifa Gomashi. And also, statements came from other ladies. So we had Honorable Tina Mensah also speaking on that matter. Honorable Tina Mensah, Gifted Tina Mensah, as Member of Parliament for Weija Bawe. Some other female members of Parliament spoke on the matter, and you realize how they were adorned in the same cloth. Well, this I don't know, uniform dressing today attracted some ridicule from a couple of people who observed. Now, what they said, yeah, women and akomama. Anytime there is an event, yeah, they focus on picking a particular. But this is how they are. Well, research has shown that women are able to differentiate colors more than men. That is because they have a spec for beauty. And I don't think that there has ever been a day celebrating men where the men in parliament will decide to perhaps adorn themselves in the same uniform. It means that with the meager numbers we have in parliament, they are at least trying to create that caucus. I'm not saying that for sure. I know there is a women's caucus in parliament. I don't know. But what I think is that you realize that this is a moment, and you see that the colors also reflect my color. The cloth, the colors in my cloth, there is a purple thing there. This tells you how I celebrate women as well, how I resonate with them. Now, this is a time when I realize that both sides of the house agree on one thing. And we're always happy when we see things going that way. So kudos to all the female members of parliament. And the submissions, throughout the submissions, you realize that there is one underlying factor: gender inequality. Gender inequality. Why do we have so much gender inequality in the country, when indeed in a country like ours, the population census has indicated that we have a majority of women than men? And for those of you who are a little hip, the youngsters, you listen to people like Beyonce and they say, who runs the world? As girls. And you are sitting there, you are hiding, you don't want to run the world. Well, my guest for tonight, Madam Janet Nabla, General Secretary for the PNC. She runs the world. Auntie Janet, good evening and thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
I'm liking this whole green outfit. Well, is it representational?
Today the color is green is part.
Oh yes. All right. So this is you.
Yes.
Well, what does International Women's Day mean to you? As a leader, we'll come to that aspect. To you as a lady, what does it mean to you?
Let me use this opportunity to thank you and greet you and all your viewers. I also want to say thank you to my PNC chairman and general secretaries who supported me no matter what, who stood by me when I needed them. They were there. When I wanted to be rescued, they were there to rescue me. made me to believe that the he for she program that we're running is the right way to go. We need support, and we need the men to support us. And when you get the support of men, then you have won in advance. So I want to thank all the PNC members, both men and women, who stood by me and then was able to protect me until we were able to make this to conquer. I thank them so much for everything that they did for me.
Very well.
International Women's Day. This is a day that has been designated to celebrate women, and also look at barriers and challenges that they are facing. So today we are celebrating the women who have performed marvelously well. In Ghana, we have the Chief of Staff, Honorable Fima, who is the Chief of Staff. In fact,
she was also a former member of Parliament.
She's been working so hard. She's trying. She's been trying. She's making sure that everything is done the way it's supposed to be done. If it is resources, she's trying to make sure that the distribution of resources is equitably done. In fact, she's doing very well. We have other people who were speakers and others who were Chief Justices, Attorney Generals. All these people, we need to celebrate them. A country that does not celebrate its heroines, not heroes, is not worth dying for. So today we celebrate, we bow down to them, and we tell them that we appreciate everything. Their contribution towards the development of this country is appreciated. We know that we have a lot of challenges facing women at this particular moment, especially in Ghana. All what we are telling them is that it is time for us to fight. We have done the consultations. We have called people to buildings to tell them that this and this is what you should do. It's now time for us to come out. How are we supposed to come out? We are supposed to come out and do demonstrations. Now Ghana is no more talk. We have spoken about affirmative action bill since 1979. That was when first Ghana signed a treaty with something called CEDAW. So the CEDAW, it is a UN convention that all countries to come and sign to give 30% representation to women. Ghana was able to go and sign a treaty with UN, UN that it will give 30% representation to women. It's lawful, it's law-abiding. If the women of Ghana decide to send government to court, we are going to win because he signed. Then in 1985, our mother, Honorable Her Excellency Nana Kunidu, took 50 delegation from Ghana to Beijing, and they went and signed a treaty that 40% representation of government appointments will be given to women. That one too is a treaty that they've signed and is legally binding. As I talk to you now, they signed on to all these treaties and they've not done anything about it. So we are now crying for affirmative action. When you even look at our constitution already has designed affirmative action for us. They said in the area of employment, whenever government realize that it's going to employ, they should put on a gender lens in the directive principles of state policy. It is stated in Article 35, Section 6B, that whenever government is going to make employment into public places, it should have a gender lens to make sure that the men are not more than the women, the women are not more than the men. So government should do that. But government have been able to employ 87% of men and 13% of women into public sector, the public sector. This data is coming from the Labor Commission. So if Labor Commission knows that we have a constitution that is binding on government, not to just go about employing, and then Labor Commission has the power to come, and the audacity, let me just use audacity for them, to come out to tell us that they have picked 87% of men and 13% of women without regarding the constitution that brought them to wherever they are. I don't know what else we are supposed to do. I've heard the speaker, the former speaker, saying that, oh, I love women so much. I wish we were not having this number of women in parliament. I feel ashamed anytime I look at these women. I've heard our almighty Bagbin, who says he's number 2, not number 3.
He says, okay.
He says he's number 2, not number 3. That he has called some people and they say, So now you are number 2. Our number 2 almighty speaker of parliament, Honorable Bagbin, he told us that he loves women so much and he is thinking about what to do if only he has the power. The Constitution in Article 17, Section 4 says that whenever we have problems of inequalities in Parliament, Parliament is supposed to enact laws, not only to solve our political difference, but social, economic, and other things. So you, our Honorable Speaker, plus all the members of Parliament, you know the Constitution of Ghana is the Constitution that brought you to where you are. You said if only you had the power. You have the power. The Constitution says that enact laws. That's why we came in with the affirmative action. I don't know why they are scared of the bill. Do you know that in all West African countries and all other West Africa, they passed the affirmative action bill? It's like with Ghana and Nigeria. At the middle, they claim they are the beacon of what? Democracy. Yet, and we're the first people to attain independence. Yet others are doing things that will bring development and they are shying away from it. The reason why we want affirmative action is not to only help women, but to help the country. Because there is a research that is saying that the more you leave majority of your females behind, the more you will never achieve development. Government, Ghana got independence in 1957. As I talk to you now, we have nothing to boast about. There is no, there's nothing. We can't talk that we are marching towards the line of development. We can't boast of it. So all what we are saying, it's not like, all what we are saying is that you cannot leave majority of your population behind and then you are in front. The he for she, go back and hold, all the men should go back and hold a woman's hand, move them forward so that we can be able to
You keep mentioning he for she. What is he for she? Are you swapping men for women?
No.
Or are you replacing men with women?
No. We are saying that he for she. You hold my hand, I hold your hand.
Okay.
There's a reason why you made mention that God created a man, and then he took the rib of a man and formed a woman. You see, it was a rib. Do you know the reason why it did not come from the head? So that the man can be the head over the woman. It did not come from the legs, under the legs, so that you can stample on the woman anytime you feel like it. But then it came from your rib. Where are your ribs? Is it not here? So that you can stand side by side with the person. So that if I'm standing at your back and you are about to fall into a ditch, will I be able to see to tell you, please don't? When we are standing side by side and you did not see, I can see and help you out. That is why we are claiming that he for she, hold me, I hold you, let's march together. That's the only way by which we can get development. We have tried and tried and tried. We are tired. The women of Ghana are now tired. When it comes to complaining about affirmative action, what is that affirmative action coming to do? It is coming to make sure that it goes through companies, organizations, institutions to check how many women have you employed. At least 30% of the women in your workforce should be women. So it is also trying to make sure that even the security forces, they don't pick women. They always pick men and then at least some women in addition. We don't want that. We now want women to also get 30% representation. Men take 70%. Then when we, in Parliament, we are saying that we want 30% representation in Parliament. We've tried all these years and we can't achieve it. There is no way we can get 30% representation in Parliament unless the affirmative action bill is passed into a law. So what are we saying? We are saying that we want government to pass the affirmative action bill so that we can get 70%, 30% representation.
70% will not be bad.
30% too.
It won't be bad.
30. They said they will not do it. That they will not pass the affirmative action bill to give women 30% representation. Let me give you a story. there was this a committee that was formed to put up a hospital in a particular a community. So the committee, there was no any woman. So they came, looked at the community, and they said, let's site it over there in the hill, so that fresh air and other things. And they said, yeah, it's a nice place. So they sited the hospital there. Then when pregnant women were going to give birth, they realized that they couldn't climb. And there was nobody to carry them to the place. So now they will be asking the doctor to come down from the hospital to come in. If only one woman was to be among those committees, the committee that came up with this decision, the woman would have told the committee that no, pregnant women cannot climb. But because we were not part. So all what we are saying is that the development agenda of Ghana cannot succeed without women. We want women to be part of it. This affirmative action bill is not political at all. It's not political. It is MPP, NDC, they came and then they went, and MPP came, they went, then it came back again. They have alternated, I mean MPP and NDC, they alternated power within the Fourth Republic. And then they have not passed the affirmative action bill. We are asking them that it is time for them to pass it. It is either they pass it or we will have to go on demonstrations, boycotts, and use all other means to be able to take our part of the inheritance. This is inheritance that our father left for us. You are holding on to my inheritance, and you are telling me that, I'm holding on to your inheritance, but then you are arrogant. That's why I'm not giving you your part of the inheritance. And who gave you that power to make that decision for me? If I'm arrogant, like, I don't understand. I am arrogant, but you are arrogant. You are holding on to the inheritance. I'm not complaining. So that's what they said. The reason why they don't want to give it to the women is because they are arrogant. I don't understand when they talk of arrogance. You know, a woman is not supposed to express herself. When you know the truth, you are supposed to keep quiet. Things are not going well, you are supposed to keep quiet. You are supposed to be quiet when you are like that. I mean, they say you're a very good woman.
That's how society. For women, I think it's one of those things that, you know, the African setting has made the African woman become. And so in Africa, for instance, when you describe a woman, when you describe a virtuous African woman, it is that woman who stays at home. It is that woman who washes her husband's clothes. It is that woman who takes care of the kids. That woman who cooks for her husband, who is submissive. And if you are lucky, that woman who has the African curves as well. I mean, that is abstract. But that is the mentality of the African woman. We are in the 21st century and we are gradually moving away from that. Now, let's come to the affirmative action bill that you've been touching on. So there seems to be, you know, some sort of play around the implementation of the affirmative action bill. Now, it rests that, you know, there is a select number of women that are supposed to come from some government appointments, and also, you know, the bid to have at least 30% women, you know, as representatives in parliament. But would you say that there is any law hindering women from going into parliament? Because as it stands now, we have about 36 women in parliament. 40, thank you very much. Women in parliament. And they are there without the passage of an affirmative action bill. This tells you that there is the opportunity, there is a space. The argument that has come up severally is that most African women and the education that we go through has sort of stereotyped the African woman, what they tend to learn of the African woman, such that when such opportunities are there, and of course where there is no hindrance, they fail to put themselves out there.
That notion and that perception have been defeated.
Of course, been defeated like by people like you.
Yes.
You rose against the scale of men to where you are.
It has been defeated. When you look at when we talk about contesting for parliamentary positions, the number of women that usually come out to contest, most of them, they end up losing all this.
Why?
Because number one, men have been holding on to power for some time now. They have built themselves financially. Everything in Ghana now is about money. You cannot be able to win elections in Ghana if you don't have money. If you don't have 2 million Ghana cedis and you want to be an MP, forget it. I'm telling you, now now that the dollar is going up, it will even be more than that. If you don't have about 25 million or something, 40 million, and you want to be a president in Ghana, forget it, you are joking. So what we are saying is that the money that, the men that have been in these positions over the years have built themselves. They now are financially sound. In fact, they know how to communicate because every day they are at the radio stations. They were there since 1957 and we were inside the kitchen. We just came out from the kitchen. And no, if even media stations, they don't want to call women. Because when they call women, at times, their patronage, it goes down as compared to men. Men have been in the system for long. The men can talk, they are vibrant. And when they are talking, people are spellbound to listen to what they are saying.
Really?
As compared to women who are now learning, trying to also come up. People don't want to listen to those who are newcomers and are coming up. They want those who have always been there and they can express themselves very well. So it is, this one is already a disadvantage to women. And then the financial capability. We have not been in the limelight. Ever since we became independent till now, men have been in charge of the economy of Ghana.
Right.
They are financially sound and they can do it. When we talk about finances, we don't have time. I have to take care of children. I have to take care of a house. I have to do politics. I cannot go and play golf. I can't. I don't have that time to go and play tennis. I cannot. But the men have time to go and play tennis, go and play golf, and the bank managers, the what and what, all the money and other things, those who run the country, they go to these places. So when he goes, he tells the person, I'm doing this and this, please, I need your help. They help the man out. You, the woman, if you even try by going there, people will give you a particular thing that you are there to chase. If you have a husband, they will tell your husband that, oh, you can be, you are a mumu. So you are here, and your wife, you think that she's just going there for nothing. They will poison your husband's mind, and the first thing you know, they will sack you. After sacking you, your mind will become disoriented. You cannot even focus, neither to think of running for elections. That's what they do. So what we are saying is that women have been out of the limelight for a long time. You cannot, if it is not wickedness, I cannot find somebody asking a Koshiako child to go into a wrestling competition with a child who is a macho child, who have eaten and is well fed. Men are well fed and they are macho. Women are Koshiako babies who are just recovering from sickness. And you tell someone that, let them go into a wrestling competition because the ring is free for all of them to go and fight. If she's able to put the macho man on the ground, if not, that is what those who say that their places, they say free something, go and contest. These are people that I usually regard as wicked, heartless, and who don't have compassion in them. About Ghana, when you look at Ghana, it's a religious country, very religious, full of Muslims and Christians. Are they doing what Christ wants us to do? No. Do you know that Jesus Christ was a feminist? When you see anybody
he had disciples, there were 12 disciples, and none of them was a female.
No, who wrote the Bible?
Hey, there are several accounts.
It was Luke.
There are
was it Theophilus?
We have Matthew, we have Mark, we
yes,
have John, several accounts.
Luke was a doctor.
From epistles as well.
Luke was a doctor. He invited his friend Theophilus to come and write the Bible. Jesus had John was part of Jesus' disciples.
I see.
Susan, a lot of Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of these people were all part of the. When you didn't you read the Bible where Jesus told Martha that leave the kitchen? Jesus was the first person to introduce education. He was the first person to tell a woman to leave the kitchen to come out to learn so that they can also be able to know something. In the Bible, he sacked Martha out of the kitchen and said, come and sit down and learn knowledge. That was affirmative action that he did.
Right.
People didn't know. Jesus, you cannot tell me that you are it. Nowadays, you go to churches and they are preaching about submission. God says you should submit. But when you look at the book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 21, it says something. It said both the man and the woman must submit to each other. God knows that if I submit to you and you don't submit to me, there's no marriage. Then after saying we can submit to each other, he goes to number 22, 23, and 24 to tell the woman that submit to your husband. But then he used number 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 30 to tell the man to love the wife. Like the way Christ loved the church and died for the church. Men are supposed to die for their, when they say die for your wife, it means that don't do anything to help the woman.
The gentlemen are watching you right now.
They are watching me. I'm asking them, the pastors that preach. You know, these pastors, God did not call them, most of them. They were not called by God. These are misogynistic men who are not supposed to be pastors.
Let's leave the
No.
men of God.
It is.
So you mean that they are not telling the truth?
They are in churches telling women that you should submit to your husband and love their husband in addition. The one that they ask them to do, they love. No, they are not asking us to even. They are no longer even doing what the Bible has said. They said a woman must submit and love the husband, and the husband does what? Jesus divided it for us. They haven't. So when I look at people who love affirmative action and want to pass it, I see Christ in those people. Because the first evangelist was a woman. The one with the Samaritan woman who went and preached to about 1,000 people and then they accepted Christ. The person was a woman. In everything, Jesus was passing and saw a woman being beaten. He asked them why. They said she committed adultery. He asked, where is the man? That is an affirmative action question. I always tell people that God is a woman. People who love their wives, worship them, look at their lives. Anytime they knock, God opens. These people become rich and they become well off. Than men who are arrogant and don't respect their wives and says they are the heads of the house and want to claim to the entire world that they are heads. They always remain the place where they are. So all what I'm saying is that I'm trying to help the men of Ghana that look, if you really love God and you want to worship God, the first thing you should do is to be sympathetic towards these women. Look at this affirmative action bill. I don't want to go there and then hurt other people.
Let's go there. Let's go there a bit more. But you spoke about now even before women tend to get into power, they need to, of course, usually go through the political processes and research and personal studies. When you look at the landscape, also has shown that you cannot do so much about your political will or ambition when you don't have the funds. I mean, you need to do some campaigning here and there. You need to move in and out. All of these things can facilitate through funding. And of course, men have been at the helm of affairs for quite some long time, so they have accumulated some money somehow, somewhere. But when we speak about women that are worthy of celebration on such occasions, you would hear the mention of Madame Esther Efua Oklu, who was once a fruit seller, but became iconic when she became a bank manager and became the founder and the first chair of the World Women's Banking. World Women's Banking, or Women's World Banking, if you put it that way. And since then, the Women's World Banking has grown to what it is now. Of course, the bank focuses on poor women, tend to, better their livelihoods. Don't you think that this is one institution that perhaps should be there to help fund women if women want to embark on that political journey? Now, would you say that the absence of such funding for women is as a result of the disbelief in women, that no matter how we push them, they can't make anything for themselves?
Women are those who are taking care of this country without money. Women.
Oh.
90% of women are into peasant farming, and 70% of them are into farming.
Okay.
So for somebody to say that no matter how you push a woman, he cannot do it. Give 300 Ghana cedis to a woman and give the same to a man and tell them to go. And then let them be having two children. The next time you see them, the children will be well fed. They will have a nice place to sleep, and the children will get a school to go, and you will look at them and they will be presentable as compared to the man.
With 300 cedis?
Just give it to them.
Or you are making...
you are not making any contribution. You are giving it to them that they should go and do something about it. The woman will go and turn it round. She will do everything to turn it round. So for somebody to say that women, no matter how they push them, they don't go forward, it's not true. Look at how we have left our informal sector women to microfinance agencies to deal with them in a manner that is not supposed to be dealt with. Those women that suffered the losses of microfinance, these microfinance agencies, are our mothers, our sisters. And then they were there in the banks. We have ADB, we have Ghana Commercial Bank, we have National Investment Bank. These banks were created to be able to help people to establish businesses to make Ghana proud. Now they are not helping anyone. I don't know which people these banks usually help. So if you want to help women in the informal sector, these are the things that we do. Let's find designated banks that can give them loans with low interest rate, not mass lock, which is a political, how do I even call it? A political institution, whereby majority of the monies they give, they are giving it to their party members. That is not for Ghanaians. I'm talking about institutions that are going to be for Ghanaians. That when you go there, your political color will not be revealed. No one cares whether you are an MPP, PNC, or NDC. All what they care about is you having the potential to be able to do the business. Today, somebody told me that, oh, even if you give loans now, the women, they don't pay. Yes, they will not pay if the person comes and you give the loan and you go to sleep with the intention that they will come and pay. No.
But you said that when you give a woman money, she's able to turn it around.
They can turn it, not all of them.
Oh, okay.
But those that will not turn it around is when you leave them and you just go to sleep. In the olden days, what was happening was that National Investment Bank used to give loans to people who wanted to go into farming. They will not give you their money. When you go and find the land, they will come and look. They have supervisors. The supervisors were all over the regions. So they will come and look at districts. They come and look at the land and tell the headquarters, yes, we've seen the land, nice place. Then they say that, okay, how much will it cost to weed the place? Then you do all this and then they'll give you the money. After you weed, the supervisors comes to see that it has been done. Then they give you money to sow and those things. After that, even harvesting, they will give you money. When you harvest and they realize that you have made profit, they will give you now the combining harvesters or whatever, the equipment to use for farming. That was what they were doing. It's very tedious, but this is how to grow a country. But if you leave the people and say, just go and do it, they will collect the money and spend. So this informal sector, our women in the informal sector, we can get banks and look for people who are business-minded people to even teach them about how to be able to do business. If you get the money is not for you, so you can't use it to go and buy pizza. You cannot just say, no, that's not your money. So they can teach them how to be able to save their profit, how to reinvest it back. They can teach them. Our hairdressers and dressmakers, after they complete, they can go to the walk to the bank and tell them, I did hairdressing. This is my certificate. I want to cite my salon over here. The bank should be able to go there, check to see whether you will be able to get patronage and say, no, this place is not good. Can you do it here? They can do that. Then they give the money, then they monitor until the money is paid. She has paid the money, and then the thing is for her. We can do that. When we do that, we are developing this country, but not to give the money out.
Do you think that there should be a specific ministry, designated for women?
We have Ministry of Women and Children, Ministry of Gender.
It used to be Women and Children's Affairs,
but now it's Gender, Children, and Social
Because
Protection.
there seemed to be some bias in there, of course, because then it seemed that women were the only ones who needed attention, but men equally needed attention. But I'm asking this because of the initiatives that you speak about, and all of these lead to women empowerment, which I'm going to come to. Before then, just a brief answer, yes or no on this one. Do you think that we need a specific ministry for women?
I'm coming. I can't say yes or no. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is okay.
Okay.
But it should not be. We shouldn't have a political leader as the gender minister.
Okay.
It should not be a politician. That ministry is supposed to be non-political.
Right.
So to go and put a politician there is to destroy the entire thing. You've had a very good initiative, but you spoiled it by putting a politician there. Let's remove the politics out of it. I was even saying that if Honorable Adjosafo, who I am a sympathizer of, I think that she was not well treated. If she says,
but do you think that she's treating her representatives well, who believed in the power of a woman, who believed in women empowerment, voted her in there, and asked her to go represent them? I don't know what some say it's personal sentiment. She wants to be leader. She wants to be that. And these are some of the things that sometimes the men use against the women. Unfortunately, do you think that she's doing her constituents
good? Have you heard it from her? Have you heard anything from her?
Certainly not yet.
Not yet. You heard it from the party people. Yes. Even if it is true that she told the party that she wanted
some positions,
majority deputy leader or
deputy majority
leader, and so what? If she wants it, yes, that's the place she says she wants. And so, men don't lobby. Men, they do blackmailing.
But
sorry, most of the ministers who are males, they blackmail. They use blackmail to get their positions and other things. Adjosafo is not doing blackmail. She wrote a letter to tell you that I want the ministry of, I want to become a deputy majority this thing. I don't want the ministry of gender. And I'm sure that the reason people are not looking at the dynamics. Imagine being a minister of gender, and when you come with full vim to work, and you think that you also have people that can help you to execute your work very well, because you've been with me. And I know that if you are the gender coordinator, nobody will give me complaints. If I tell you that let it get to where it's supposed to go, you will do it for me. And then there's another person there. And I'm the minister for gender, I have the power to make sure that the ministry runs smoothly so that people will praise me. I fire you and they said I should bring you back. Am I in charge of the ministry or I'm not? Do you understand what I mean? So if I fire you and they said that I should bring you back, it means I'm a minister without portfolio. Right. So now, will you respect me?
More like will the other people a puppet minister?
Will the other people respect me? No one will respect me anymore. They know that I don't have power. In fact, they will now even connive. That's what they do at the gender ministry. When you're a woman and you come there, those who are already there, they connive, do this thing against you. And now, if the person you are working for is not somebody who trusts you so much to say that, no, I'm not listening to you, they will just remove you like Oti Kojaba. So she will not stay there and finally they will come and listen. So she just left. I think I heard that she wrote a letter to them that she doesn't want to be the gender minister anymore. And then they should have called, they did not handle this, they did not handle her well. As a bigger political party like NPP, they did not do the handling.
Do you think that Honorable Sarah Adjosafo should put all of these differences behind and just represent the people? That
she will put the differences behind if they also do something. She's a woman. Number one, she said she wanted majority.
Women must get their way at all costs.
She said she wants majority deputy dissing. That one somebody is already occupying.
Yeah, so
I don't also agree that they can do reshuffling, can't they? They can ask her.
Because a woman wants it.
No. They can do this because number one, your hand is in her this thing, and we are not going to allow them to sack her. Yeah, in Basro. Because if she's being sacked, those people who did not attend Parliament from October to November, and we've calculated it, and it's 18 days, they must go with her. If they will agree on that, then we can go through the process. I'm saying this based on the fact that women, the way we are being treated, they think they can do anything over what is a woman. Look at all. Have you ever seen them doing like what they did to Adjosafo? To the extent of they are telling Ghanaians they are trying to build hatred towards her. That was what they were doing. They will give her 120,000 for what? Who saw it? Where's your evidence?
Honorable Kennedy Ejikon story. He says the money was given to him. You're saying that they have their hand in her this thing, and it seems as though no matter the circumstance, they have to play ball.
Then they don't want to play ball. If they wanted to play ball, why would you ask my ex-husband to come and deal with me? It's unprofessional. It is so unprofessional, and I'm disgusted by why my ex-husband.
Let's leave Adjoa Safo. They say that hell hath nothing as a woman scorned, and I'm praying that Adjoa Safo at this time is not scorned, and whatever we experience now. Let's come back to International Women's Day. I asked about the Women's Bank, World Women's Bank, funding for women, which you touched explicitly on. Now, sorry, there is a notion, okay, that women are their own downfall, and typically, I don't want to take it too far because we are hovering around Parliament. You look at the female members of Parliament that we have, and you ask yourself, anytime a female member of Parliament has the floor, what do they say? What do they do? What do they present? What do they table about women empowerment?
I've never been in Parliament before, but I've ever met the gender caucus in Parliament at Koforidua.
Okay.
And that one, we went there to present the affirmative action bill to them, and to lobby them to help us to pass the bill. And the women were saying that, this one we should go, and they were not somehow in agreement. They were not in agreement.
They were not in agreement.
They were not in agreement, and yet they are part of the.
Why wouldn't they be in agreement?
I don't know. They said that women should go and fight like any other person.
Oh.
So that day I asked them, you can't let Kwasiako and a mature child too. So I explained to them. In fact, myself and them, we gave it to each other until before we went inside, and they came down. When they came inside the Parliament House, they came down, and then they even got up and spoke in support. Women cannot be we can't be enemies to each other. You
can be your own enemies.
Our own enemies, because look at what happened in Parliament. The men beat each other and then wounded each other. And I've never heard anybody say men are their own enemies. When you are passing through stations, how men can beat each other inside market and anywhere in the beaches. But they don't say men are their own enemies. They only say it when it comes to women. We are also human beings. I have told people, behind every two women fighting, there is an invisible hand behind them who have caused it, and it's not a woman.
Oh, I see. So there is a man in there.
Yes. So you are talking about support for politicians. I think it's time. No, not politicians, to lady politicians. I think it's time. It's time that we lobby, maybe to the international world and other places, that they should come in and help. Because Ghana, with this affirmative action bill that we've been, even though we go on demonstrations and other things, if they refuse, then we will now have to plead to the international world to use force, like the way God started affirmative action in Parliament. If you're a man, you guys, you say you won't give us a chance. The man dies, the woman takes over. That was God's way of helping affirmative action in Parliament. But you guys said you will not. You see, you wouldn't understand the work of God. Me, I don't want to talk.
But if that would be the way, then it means that the men in Parliament would have to pass on so that the women will take their positions.
God told them, if you won't give them opportunity, I will take initiative myself. He started taking initiatives. I was thinking that this would scare them to succumb by passing the law. They refused. So if they refuse, all what we will do is to go to the international world to tell them to help us.
Are you going to pray to God to continue in that way for you?
God is the best thing that anybody, if you see any woman who is successful, the person has God in her. If you don't have God, you have failed in advance.
I'm asking if you're going to ask God to continue that.
Oh no! We don't want. No. You know, God, the way God is. He hates wickedness.
Okay.
Immediately you go and pray that kill the men so that we'll take over. He says you're a bad woman. So he will make sure that you die.
So his ways are not our ways.
No.
Okay.
So when he is doing his thing, don't even become happy about it. That's why we've not even brought out what do I say, statements to tell men of Ghana that God has started the affirmative action in Parliament. We have not done
this
it.
one there. We beg God.
We
beg God.
Just pass it and you will be safe.
Because some of us are aspiring to be members of, but we don't want to get there, and then God would implement His own affirmative action bill. Now, this year's theme. Okay, let's speak about this year's celebration. This year's theme is, dubbed "Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow," and there is the hashtag "Break the Bias." Gender equality for a sustainable tomorrow. Of course, in democracies and in jurisdictions where women are taken out of, developmental plans, you realize that, of course, then there would be a great deficiency, because whilst you're providing for the men, especially for a country like Ghana, remember that you are leaving a greater percentage women who are more than the men behind. But we see gender bias, which the hashtag is seeking to break the bias. We see gender bias in almost all walks of our lives, in our economy, in security, in education, especially in politics, and to some extent in health delivery as well. Now, when you look at the trajectory that Ghana is going, do you think that we should really be bothered about this theme, gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow?
Yes, I said it before. You are looking for sustainability. We need to pass something on to our unborn generation. And we are not going to be able to make it if we continue to be this gender bias towards women. God knows the reason why there's a man and a woman. The way you think is not the way I think. When the two of us, we come together, then we make the world a better place for ourselves and the unborn generation to come. That is what this year's team is trying to portray. And they are talking about break the bias. There's biasness all over the place. Look at what is it called? The IGP. The IGP will come on our televisions to tell us that my men are on the ground, and the men he's talking about, you can see women among them.
Well, he is speaking. I think that he's speaking in biblical
They will
terms.
say,
Even
yes,
the Bible
biblical.
addresses, men to. Bible uses men to be unisex.
Wow.
Yes.
Because I know that Jesus from Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the Bible always states the same God created all of them, males and females. He said that. He could have said that the same God created all of them, males, but he said males and females, just to distinct. I'm a woman, you're a man. And he says, my men are on the ground. Who is he talking to? He's talking to the men. I'm not part. And then you will see these women out there. We are talking about the biasness.
They receive equal training on the grounds. And so maybe when he says men, he's referring to those who have been trained, which includes women as well.
Construction workers, men at work, and then you go there and see that women are also there carrying this thing, and then the men at work. You know, when we have this, it will mean nothing to you. But then there are those things that they use to deter women from getting what they listen. When you go to a construction firm, they will say that the foreman is a man. Who told them that? Nowadays, we don't use our energy, our physical energy to work. We are using machines. We use intellect, intelligence. It's not the matter of you being strong. We can do it. We don't need men with physique and other things to be foremen. So why is it that when you go to construction area, you see the men being in charge, there are those women, and then there's no woman? It's because they wrote on that this men at work. So the one who is doing constructions know that a woman is not supposed to be there. Meanwhile, you are not the one lifting the machines. You are giving the instructions for the machines to be lifted. So we want all these things to be erased. When it's gone now, we can also get opportunity to get the jobs. Because imagine employing 87% of men and 13% of women. And people are asking why women are standing at circle. Others are at where? At Timote. and then others are now at Domi
Oh, I
market.
see.
You ask me
You're
why?
talking about those prostitutes.
Yes.
Oh, now they are on the internet. They are everywhere.
And they are now on the yes. You are asking me, it's because they don't have jobs, and they unlike men who can use blackmail and like pressure on their colleague men. Men can, even as a general secretary, most of the people are help are men because the pressure they put on you. But the women are always quiet, thinking that you should look at them and be able to help your own way. They don't want to pressurize you. So while she's like that, calm and reserved, the man is pushing. So all the jobs are given to those who are pushing. It's not given to women. And we think it is not fair. That notion and that narrative must change.
Well, you are a traditional, African woman, an educated and enlightened one for that matter. And so, coming from that side to where you are now, you certainly know most of the challenges that the Ghanaian woman goes through. What are some of the typical challenges that you think, let's say three typical challenges that you think that should be addressed in the nation? I mean, you've mentioned employment, which is one. Let's put that aside. What are some three other?
The culture.
Okay.
Our cultural, the culture that is governing Ghanaians has a way of creating problems for women. For instance, in my hometown, if you are going to contest with a man, they tell you that you should step down and allow the man to go. As a woman, what do you even want?
Why? What is the basis?
No, they said that the men are the heads, and more to the point, as a woman, what is it that you want? How can you contest with a man? It's like a taboo or something for you to go out there to contest with a woman, with a man. So they will ask you because of their cultural practices that makes the woman to be the one to always, even education. They used to send the men to school and ask us to stay home. So that cultural notion is out there to bring us down. Then next thing is this insults. It's too much. Most of you guys don't know, because most of the things that are done when the doors are closed, you cannot open your mouth to tell people.
You are speaking in parables.
Yes,
I'm not getting
how politicians ladies are being beaten by men.
Female politicians.
Female politicians, ministers, deputies, parliamentarians are being beaten by their colleague men, and the party will tell you that you should keep quiet.
Beaten, like physically beaten or verbally.
Beaten. Even our political parties, like beat you properly, slap you, and then the party will, this is an assault case, then the party will say that you should come down.
This is happening on the political scene.
Political terrain, not anywhere, Ghana here.
Could that be Adjasafo's case? Do you think that she's
No, it's not Adjasafo.
Okay,
they know that, yes. And then they will tell you that don't tell anyone. It doesn't make sense. When you try to talk, the person won't open her mouth because they told her, you cannot be like a deputy minister and then you can come and open your mouth and this and we'll take the position away from you. You can't be like this. And so you are bound to keep quiet. And then they will say that they will use the party ways to solve the differences between you. Anytime we have a meeting, political parties, you see a man getting up to slap somebody, a woman. Open your mouth and see. Because they think that women, we should not talk when they are present.
Do you feel that the laws do not protect women enough in the country?
The laws are even protecting men. Let me just give you a scenario. Look at, is it Wiza or what is the name? And One Love. The two of them nakeded themselves in what? On
Public.
air. And they took them to court, and the court told them that they should pay fines of what. When this guy, a woman, Equiapim Polo, committed is not a similar act whereby they didn't even see any part of it. She was jailed for 3 months. The laws are not protectors of women. And when you look at when they were closing television stations and then down, Agrada was the one they locked her up. No man was picked. But we knew that Agrada problem, a lot of people had them. But because they are men, they did nothing to them. Agrada was arrested and locked. Women, the laws of this country are not protecting women. If you joke, and even the judges, immediately they see you a woman, you know, they are supposed to use the law Ghanaian, most of them are not using law.
What are they using?
They are using their own personal sentiments. Maybe you don't have a strong person behind you. They look at you. You are not strong. Who is behind you? You don't have anybody, and they will give it to you. You see. But if they know that maybe there's somebody, maybe if they do something, somebody will call them. They will not do it. Why did they do that to Ekuapem Polo? It was unheard of. Those women that international what for protection of women. Children, where were they when One Love and Wiza did it? Where were they? So I realized
okay,
that.
Wiser. You're talking about Wiser. When okay.
It's Wiser.
I'm not. Yeah, Wiser. I'm not getting it. It's a Wiser. I was trying to get who. Yeah, Wiser. That's his stage name.
His stage name. So they did it, but they allowed them to go scot-free. But when Ekuapem Polo, they arrested him. So the laws of this country are not in favor of women. It's there to protect men. And to break the barrier, that must stop.
Very well. Madam Janet Nabla, we are fast out of time. But before we go, tell us briefly how you are maintaining your position as a General Secretary, a woman amongst the men.
It's not easy. It has been difficult. You heard my story. At times, I want to tell women out there that number one, be focused, do the right thing. When you do the right thing and someone comes in from nowhere and tries to do something against you, people from all places. For instance, he organized a meeting and wanted 9 chairmen to attend for him to sack me and couldn't get. And he said, if I couldn't get, then I would say that I'm not following the 6 regions, news regions. I'm not going to accept them. I'll take only 10 regions. But he forgot that some of the people that came to his meeting, they were part of the 6 regions. So if you are not regarding the 6 regions, then don't add them. You understand what I'm saying? So, but when we organized our meeting, the people that refused to go there, they all attended the meeting. And what we have done the dismissal is legal. We took the constitution, we followed it from start to finish. And now they took me to court. And we are there in court. I think that the judge will be coming up with his judgment on when? I think in April.
Well,
we have asked the judge to allow them to come back to the party because our party rules and regulations says that when you are having a problem with the party, you have no right to send the matter to court. Right. When you send the matter to court, the rules of the party says they should sack you from the party. Right. So we told the judge that he should let them come back to the party and then. Even
whilst you wait for judgment on.
No, that's not. No, we are telling that's the judgment. Okay. We have told the judge that he should ask them to come back to the because those are the rules and regulations pertaining to PNC. Okay. So we should let them come to the party.
Well, she's a woman amongst men, and she's not just a woman amongst the men. She's a giant, actually, amongst the men. Madam Janet Nabla. She's the General Secretary for the PNC, and tonight she's taking us through the conversation about International Women's Day. Very sentimental about women, and I believe that when we give platform to people like Madam Janet, we have done no mistake and no wrong at all. I have enjoyed my conversation with you. Thank you very much once again, and thank you for staying with us. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a wonderful discussion, and to all our women out there, once again, we're wishing you a happy International Women's Day. Know that you're celebrated. Know that you matter. Know that you are the salt in the entirety of every ingredient. We love you and we'll continue to honor you. My name is Reginald Addy. Have a lovely evening. I'll see you on Thursday.
Mother,